My family will never recover from the revelation of my paternity and the secrets my parents held. My family is broken. I do not know how we can ever repair the damage. I found out the man I called dad for 28 years is not my biological father. I pressed the issue. I told my mom it was important. I explained I needed to know about any genetic conditions. I thought she was being difficult. She finally broke down and told me the truth. The truth is my dad is infertile. They used a sperm donor. She never told him. My head swam. I felt betrayed by both of them. I do not understand how she could keep that a secret. I do not understand why my dad never knew. He raised me as his own. He loved me. I always felt like his daughter. I do not know what to do now. It happened last month. I needed my medical history because I am trying to get pregnant. I asked my mom for it. She told me she would get it to me. I waited a week and she did not mention it. I asked again. She seemed nervous. She said she would find it. Another week passed. I asked my dad instead. He looked confused and asked my mom if she knew where the medical records were. My mom started crying. She said there was something I needed to know first. She said the man I think of as my dad is not my biological father. I was stunned. I did not understand what she was saying. I asked her to repeat herself. She said that when she and my dad were trying to have children, they had problems. My dad had fertility issues. They decided to use a sperm donor. They never told me. I needed to process what she said. This changed my entire understanding of my family. I had so many questions racing through my head. I asked her who the donor was. I wanted to know if she knew anything about him. I wanted to know if she had any information about his medical history. I also wanted to know if my dad knew I was asking these questions. My mom looked hesitant. She said she understood why I wanted to know. She said she would tell me everything she could. She explained that they went through a clinic. The clinic guaranteed anonymity. They did not receive any identifying information about the donor. The clinic did provide a detailed profile. It included his physical characteristics and his family medical history. My mom said she still had a copy of the profile. She told me she would find it for me. I asked her if my dad knew I knew the truth. She said she had not told him yet. She wanted to tell me first. She did not know how he would react. I asked her to please not tell him until I had a chance to speak with him myself. I was angry. I asked her why they would keep something like this from me. She said they thought it was better that way. They raised me as their own. They did not want me to feel different. I felt different now. I felt like my entire life was a lie. I asked about the donor. She said they used a clinic. They did not have any information about him. It was all anonymous. I asked if my dad knew. She said yes. He knew the whole time. I looked at him. He looked ashamed. He said he loved me like his own daughter. That did not make me feel better. I felt betrayed. I felt like my whole life was a performance. My parents let me believe something that was not true. I wondered what else they lied about. I did not say anything to my dad. I just stared at him. My mom started crying. She said she was sorry. She said they did it because they loved me. I do not think that is a good reason to lie. I got up and walked out. I needed to get away from them. I could not breathe in that house. I felt angry and confused. I did not know what to think. I did not know who I was anymore. I got in my car. I drove away. I did not say goodbye. I left their house. I drove home in a daze. My husband was worried. I told him what happened. He was shocked. He hugged me. He said we would figure it out together. I did not know what there was to figure out. My life felt like a lie. I spent the next few days in a fog. I could not eat. I could not sleep. I kept replaying the conversation in my head. I felt betrayed by my parents, especially my mom. How could she keep this from me for so long? How could my dad pretend to be my father? I tried to talk to them about it, but they avoided me. My mother cried whenever I brought it up. My father just stared blankly ahead. He mumbled something about doing what was best. I did not feel like it was best for me. I felt like they robbed me of my history. I considered talking to a therapist. Maybe they could help me process all this. I did not want to feel this angry forever. I knew I needed to do something to move forward. I thought about finding my biological father. It seemed like the only way to find answers. I did not even know his name. My parents refused to tell me anything useful. They acted like they wanted this to disappear. I started searching online for information about sperm donation. I learned about the laws in my state. It seemed like I had some rights to information. I decided I needed to know more. I contacted the clinic my parents used. I asked if they had any information about the donor. They said they could not release any information without a court order. I hired a lawyer. The lawyer helped me get a court order. It took weeks. Finally, the clinic released the information. The donor was not anonymous. My parents had used a friend of my dad's from college. I looked up the friend online. He lived in another state. He had a family. I stared at his picture. I saw a resemblance. I saw myself in him. I found an address for him. I thought about writing a letter. I wanted to know more about him. I hesitated. I did not know what to say. I worried about disrupting his life. He had a wife and children. They did not know about me. I imagined their reaction. I imagined his reaction. I wondered if he even knew he was a donor. My parents never told me much. They avoided the subject. I always assumed it was anonymous. I was wrong. I felt angry. I felt betrayed. I felt like my whole life was a lie. I decided to confront my parents. I needed answers. I deserved the truth. I drove to their house. I rehearsed what I wanted to say. I planned to stay calm. I knew I would be upset. I wanted to understand why they did this. I hoped they would be honest with me. I prepared myself for anything. I went inside. I called my parents. I told them what I found out. They were shocked. They said they did not know it was a friend. The clinic must have lied. I did not believe them. I thought they knew all along. I decided to confront my biological father. I booked a flight to his state. I did not tell my parents. I did not tell my husband. I needed to do this on my own. The flight felt long. I thought about what I would say. I rehearsed different scenarios in my head. I worried about how he would react. I wondered if he would even acknowledge me. I also felt a little angry. He had never tried to contact me. I landed and rented a car. I drove to the address I had found online. The information was current. I drove around the block a few times. My hands were sweaty. I felt nervous. I questioned my decision to come. I almost drove away. I reminded myself why I was there. I needed answers. I deserved to know the truth. I had a right to confront him. So I steeled myself and drove back to his street. I arrived at his town. I found his house. I parked down the street. I sat in my car. I watched his house. I saw him come out. He was older, but I recognized him from the picture. I got out of the car. I walked toward him. I introduced myself. I told him I was the result of a sperm donation he made years ago. He looked confused. He said he never donated sperm. I told him the clinic's name. I told him my parents' names. Recognition dawned on his face. He paled. He stared at me for a long time. He asked me to repeat my parents' names. I did. He wrote them down on a notepad. He looked up some records on his computer. I watched him scroll through what looked like old bank statements. He stopped scrolling. He pointed at one entry on the screen. The entry showed a payment from the fertility clinic. He looked back at me. He said he remembered now. He explained that he had donated a long time ago when he was in college. He said he had forgotten all about it. He said he only did it for the money. He did not realize a child would result. I asked him if he wanted me to leave. He said no. He seemed interested in hearing more. He invited me inside. We sat in his living room. I told him everything. I told him about my parents, about finding out the truth, about the clinic. He listened quietly. When I was finished, he spoke. He said he did donate sperm to the clinic. He did it as a favor to my dad. My dad had asked him. My dad could not have children. He did not want my mom to know. He wanted her to think the child was his. He asked his friend to donate anonymously. He swore him to secrecy. He never told anyone, not even his wife. He said my dad felt a lot of pressure. His family wanted grandchildren. My mom wanted children too. He loved my mom. He did not want to lose her. He thought this was the only way. He thought he was doing the right thing. He thought he was protecting everyone. He now knows he was wrong. He regrets it every day. He said he never meant to hurt anyone. He did not realize the damage it would cause. I asked him if my mom knew. He said no. She still did not know. I asked him if he was going to tell her. He said he did not know what to do. He was afraid of what she would say. He was afraid of losing her. I told him he had to tell her. She deserved to know the truth. I told him it was not fair to her. I told him it was not fair to me. He said he would think about it. I asked him why. Why would he agree to something like that? He said he did it because he was my dad's friend. He wanted to help him. He did not think about the consequences. He did not think about me. I asked if my mom knew. He said no. My dad made him promise never to tell her. He thought she believed the sperm came from an anonymous donor. I realized my dad had lied to everyone. I felt like I needed to know more. I wanted to understand why he kept the secret. I asked him how long he had known. He told me he found out shortly after I was born. His brother confessed. The brother had been the actual donor. My dad felt betrayed. He felt responsible for me. He raised me as his own child. He never wanted me to feel different. He thought it was best to keep the truth hidden. He did not want to hurt my mom. I did not know what to think. I needed proof. I could not just take his word for it. It seemed unbelievable. I had lived my entire life thinking one thing. Now I had to reconsider it. The only way I could be sure was through a test. I told him I needed closure. He understood. He said he would do anything to help me. He seemed sincere. He wanted to make things right. I asked if he would take a DNA test. He agreed. We went to a lab. We gave our samples. We waited for the results. The results came back a few days later. He was my biological father. It was official. I did not know how to feel. I stared at the paperwork. The lab sent me a packet with all the details. It included his name, his address, and his medical history. I felt numb reading it. I wondered if I should contact him. I debated what I would even say. I did not initiate contact yet. I needed to process the information. I had lived my whole life thinking one thing. Now I learned the opposite. I spent the next couple days in a daze. I went to work. I ate food. I went through the motions. I could not shake the feeling. I needed to talk to someone. My first thought was my mom. I decided that was a bad idea. She would be devastated. It could ruin her marriage. I felt like I needed to talk to my dad first. He deserved to know I knew. I considered what I wanted to say. I knew it would be a difficult conversation. I felt angry at him for lying. I also understood why he did it. I wanted to give him a chance to explain. I wanted to hear his side of the story. I drove to their house that evening. I prepared myself for a fight. I went back to my parents' house. I confronted my dad. I told him I knew the truth. I told him I knew he asked his friend. I told him I knew he lied to my mom. He denied it at first. Then he broke down. He admitted everything. He said he did it because he loved my mom. He wanted a family. He did not want her to leave him. He thought it was better to lie than to lose her. I just sat there in shock. I could not process what I was hearing. My dad, the man I had looked up to my entire life, was not my biological father. This changed my entire understanding of my family. I looked back at him. He was staring at the floor. I felt a mix of anger, confusion, and sadness. I did not know what to say or do. This information changed too much too fast. I needed to see my mom's reaction. I had to know what she thought. I wanted to know what she knew. My whole life, I thought we were a normal family. I thought my parents loved each other. I thought they were honest with each other. Now, I found out that was not true. I had so many questions. I needed answers. I turned to my mom. She was crying. I asked her if she knew. She said she did not. She said she believed my dad was my biological father. She looked at him with betrayal in her eyes. She asked him why. Why would he do this to her? Why would he lie to her for so long? He said he was sorry. He said he loved her. He begged her to forgive him. She did not say anything. She walked out of the house. I watched her go. I did not know where she was going. I did not know if she would come back. I looked at my dad. He was a broken man. His secret had destroyed his family. I felt nothing but anger and resentment. I left the house. I went back to my hotel. I called my husband. I told him everything. He was supportive. He said he would come to get me. My mom did not come back that night. She did not come back the next day. My dad was frantic. He called me. He asked me to help him find her. I refused. I told him he did this to himself. My husband arrived. We searched for my mom. We found her at a hotel. She was devastated. She said she did not know if she could ever forgive my dad. She did not know if she could ever trust him again. I stayed with my mom for a few days. I tried to comfort her. I listened to her. I did not know what to say. There were no words that could fix this. I flew home with my husband. My parents are separated now. My mom is staying in an apartment. My dad is alone in their house. I do not know if they will get back together. I have met my biological father's family. They are nice. They are welcoming. It is strange to be around them. It is strange to think that I am related to them. I do not know what the future holds. My family is shattered. I do not know if we can ever piece it back together. I am angry. I am hurt. I am confused. I do not know who I am anymore. I do know my parents' actions have irrevocably changed all our lives. I do not know if I can ever forgive them.